Breaking, or breakdancing, will soon be showcased on the world's most prestigious sporting platform. Millions from around the world will tune in to watch the best B-boys and B-girls compete in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Gold medals will be won. Legends will be created. It is quite a journey for a dance, a culture, a movement that emerged from the streets of New York and in particular the Bronx. This building has a significant place in music and cultural history. 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, an apartment building in the Bronx, New York, is known as the birthplace of hip-hop. On August 11, 1973, Clive Campbell, otherwise known as DJ Kool Herc, held a birthday party in the building's recreation center. Charlie Rock is a first-generation b-boy or breakdancer.
There are many contributors, all right? But the father of hip-hop is Clive Campbell, more commonly known as DJ Kool Herc.
Because Kool Herc didn't have a place, you know? He didn't really have a place to go. He just had where he did that party with his sister, and that was like a little box. That was the community room in that building. It wasn't, you could fit maybe 50 people in that room.
DJ Kool Herc originated a new style of DJing, where he isolated the instrumental portion of the record, which highlighted the drum beat or the break. It allowed him to switch from one break to another, using two copies of the same record to elongate the break. Ralph McDaniels is an American music video director, DJ and VJ, and is a hip-hop historian.
So break beats, as for a DJ, is extending a song. You know, a break of a song. You know, very often James Brown records had those break beats, those breakdowns. And James Brown go 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 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 and you just keep catching that 1, 2, 3, 4.
He would take a certain section of the record that they called the break beat, the break point, which is basically the drum solo or the breakdown in the music, right? And the B-boys, the break boys, and the break girls would take the floor and perform and battle to that small portion of the record.
Reggie Peters is a former B-boy known as Popular Mechanic and later as Mix. He's also a staff member for the Hip Hop Museum that is currently under construction in the Bronx. As hip-hop was emerging in the early 70s, so too was breaking.
We have to talk about two different types of dance that fused into one. So when you're talking the traditional breaking, which would be top rock dancing, footwork, windmills, backspins, freezes, head spins, that originated in New York City in the early 1970s, right? Specifically the Bronx. When you're talking about popping, locking, waving, boogie, boogaloo, electric boogie, whatever you want to call it, that started in Los Angeles, California around the same time.
Alien Ness is a former b-boy and a former president of the Mighty Zulu Kings, a b-boy group that was founded by another DJ, Africa Bambaataa.
Right now we're standing in the center, smack dab in the center of Bronx River Projects, where I say is the home of hip hop as we know it.
Dancers were afforded opportunities that rappers and graffiti artists couldn't get because graffiti was considered vandalism. Then you had this rap music who was scrutinized when they were saying it wasn't really music. They're just talking on a record. They're not even singing. When it came to the dance, it was like, wow, that's incredible. I never saw anything like that. What do you call that? How does he do that? Oh my God, does that hurt? Oh my God, you just slammed your body on the ground. Are you okay? So that sensationalism and that sense of seeing something for the first time was appealing to the media. It was appealing to the world.
Welcome everybody. We are chilling with the New York City Breakers, the real OGs.
Chino Lopez, otherwise known as Action, is a co-founder of the New York City Breakers.
It was a little scary, but being part of a certain part of a neighborhood where everyone knew each other, you kind of felt safe, you know, even though there were times where you weren't. Kids started to realize that instead of fighting, you know, because there were dancers in different parts of the neighborhood, different boroughs, they started competing against each other. They were like, you know, like, why fight? Let's just dance. Let's see who's better.
When you're talking about people fighting for equality, people fighting to be recognized, people fighting for dignity, and while we were developing the survival skills, we were also developing a way for people to recognize that we're a bunch of somebodies. We're not a bunch of nobodies.
Gangs started out to protect the community. And I think that was the main reason why. So if you lived in a certain part of the Bronx, it protected you from another part of the Bronx. So if you lived in a certain part of Brooklyn, it protected you. There was a line. Don't come past this. Hip hop was a whole new place because it took you places that you would never have gone.
It didn't take long for breaking to evolve. As breaking moved into the 1980s, street crews began to use cardboard, which saw breaking introduce even more athletic moves.
The cardboard is in the 80s, and the cardboard was a seminal element. By them dancing on cardboard, it allowed them to introduce other moves, very specifically the head spin and the back spin.
That was actually the fun part, you know, like practicing and starting to take it serious and coming up with these new ideas. Can we do this? Are we capable of doing this? Can we spin on our heads? Can we spin on one hand?
Nobody even understood where did you learn this at? You learned it on your block, in the street, in the community center, you know, at, you know, Wanda's birthday party. You know, that's where you learned it at. You saw this kid doing it and you were like, I could do that.
Going to the clubs is when you really got to see the other kids from, again, different boroughs. And I noticed how the dance just started to evolve. It did start getting better. We started getting better.
We're creating everything on the spot. There is no YouTube. There is no Instagram. You know, there's no way. In order for you to create a reputation, you had to go and witness it with your eyes. Yo, I just saw this amazing thing. That's what created the reputations.
When tourists came to 42nd Street, they were traveling to Times Square. They couldn't see no rapper and no DJ. They saw a b-boy with a box. They saw a boombox, cardboard, and a dancer. The dancer is the migrator of this culture. We took it around the world. We brought the music with us. We brought the DJs with us. And we brought the stories of the urban community in the South Bronx with us.
During the 1980s, movies such as Flashdance, Wild Style, and Breakin' gave the dance international exposure. But at its very height in popularity, breaking suddenly lost its appeal and faded from the hip-hop scene.
I think once hip-hop became popular, record companies, management companies, even some artists didn't want to pay for the dancers anymore. So they got rid of the dancers, they got rid of the DJ, and it was just, you know, some type of electronic DAT or something, and played it, and they went up there and rapped, and the crowd was happy, and the promoter was happy, and they got paid.
Breaking may have lost its appeal in the US, but elsewhere in the world it was gaining popularity, and some New York breaking crews continue to tour internationally.
Shout out to the Rocksteady crew and the New York City Breakers and the Dynamic Rockers. Hands down, they kept this game alive. And they went all over the world in the 90s and kept teaching and preaching it and wearing it and showing it.
It never died out. It died out here in New York. But traveling all over the world, we planted the seed all over Europe, all over. So the kids were still dancing everywhere.
school hall in Yonkers, New York, young breakers compete in the Battle of the Boroughs Breaking League. It is an event organised by London Reyes of the New York City Breakers. With breaking preparing to make its Olympic debut, those competing now have a new horizon to aim for.
Breakdancing is like originally from New York. That's like the birth of breakdancing. So not that much people know about breaking. So like I feel like when it's gonna happen in the Olympics, it's gonna like start going like being really popular.
Like this is all where it started, you know, hip hop and pop and lock, and it all started in New York City. And it's just great to see it expand to other countries and states, and it's just really nice.
The spotlight now is on Paris. The Place de la Concorde will be transformed into an open-air stadium for the breaking competition. There will be 2 medal events, one each for the best B-boy and best B-girl. B-girl Sunny Choi joined a breaking club at university. She now lives in New York and will represent the US team in Paris.
I mean, I'm super grateful to be able to represent for New York on this journey. And initially, I think I was a little bit scared, actually, because one, I didn't grow up here, but also, like, I don't feel like I always look the part, you know, as like someone coming from the hip hop community. But I've received nothing but support and like just really, really warm wishes and people who are like, we're behind you, the community's behind you.
B-boy Victor of the USA is one of the favourites to win gold in the men's event.
Yeah, I feel like there is a responsibility for me representing breaking culture, hip-hop culture, and I'm going to make sure that I represent it the right way and pay homage to the elders that came before me. For me, it's super important to expose like this dance to a different audience, a broader audience, not spinning on your butt or dancing on a cardboard floor anymore. You know, it's evolved. The moves are bigger, faster, stronger, and it's more structured. So I feel like at the Olympics, people are gonna be shocked once they watch breaking because it's such an amazing art form.
This is the most amazing thing that you could do. They're right on point. They're in tune with what's happening right now, and they're gonna have this going on, and all the kids are gonna watch this.
Breaking in the Olympics is an accomplishment for hip hop. This is a way to get the culture recognized and legitimized in the top tier of competition around the world, and I think that that's a great thing.
Man, these kids today are amazing, and they're doing these incredible things and pushing the limit. Pushing the limits and proving that us as humans can do anything.
We started something that became accepted, a worldwide, not even a phenomenon. It is part of the mainstream in the world.
To see it in the Olympics, it's a dream come true. And thank God that I'm here to see it.
The future of breaking as an Olympic sport is already under threat. It won't be part of the LA 28 Olympics. It's been dropped to make room for flag football, lacrosse, and squash.
And then I heard that they're only going to do it in 2024 in Paris, and it's not going to be in Los Angeles in 2028. And I was like, wait a minute, whose idea was that? Because you're going to build these kids up, and then you're going to lose that audience. Like if you're not committed, they know it.
5, 6, 7, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, backwards 1 and 2. 3.
There are also concerns that the Olympics will strip out the meaning of breaking, its roots, its soul. But ultimately, breaking provides opportunities for youth in inner city areas like the Bronx that are woefully short of funding and in desperate need of inspiration.
For me, I think that the most important thing is to support schools and leagues. If you want to grow the product, you need to help the teachers. We need to implement breaking in the public schools, which is what I'm trying to do, so that kids have these opportunities.
I think it should be in all the schools. I think there should be programs where kids could go and do this. And I think, you know, the fact that it's going to be an Olympic sport, so to say, is going to help that.
You know, to have a breakdancing program would be great. Again, it supports, you know, positivity, it supports health. You know, being able to move your body the way we did, you have to take care of yourself.
One of the most beautiful things about breaking is that there are not a ton of barriers to entry. You just need enough floor. You don't need to pay to go to some teacher or go to a studio. Most of the places I practice still are community centers and they're free. And so anyone can kind of just get started. So anyone who watches breaking can just like go do a quick Google search and find a space to start. And most of the time you can just show up and tell people you never danced and somebody will stop and teach you.
I want more inner city kids to enjoy breaking. You don't need much. This is not, like we don't have expensive tools, you know? Like all you need is a speaker, a dance floor, and self-expression.
Street corners and community halls to the Olympic Games, breaking has had quite the journey.
To me, it is amazing to know that something that basically, theoretically, was birthed right here in this building to spread out, not just citywide, not just nationwide, but globally, and put itself everywhere on stage with pop stars and in movies and in now the Olympics. To me, I think it's an amazing thing.
It was something that was happening in New York City, in the Bronx, that made us a certain way that has now lasted the test of time.
It's a reminder of what can start small and become so grand.
From something that started in the Bronx to being worldwide and now an Olympic sport. That to me is amazing. I just smile. And I smile at the fact that I'm one of the earliest practitioners of it. You know, in the beginning, it just makes me smile. That's what it really does, it makes me smile.